Good evening. First of all, congratulations to Paul and to Kevin. Now, it's my honor to welcome Catherine D'Amato, President and CEO of the Greater Boston Food Bank. During her tenure leading the Greater Boston Food Bank, Catherine has transformed the organization into a $180 million charitable business, increasing the distribution to more than 92 million healthy meals per year. Now, the food bank's network includes 600 partner food pantries, meal programs, and direct distribution sites across 190 cities and towns. Catherine has also led with an emphasis on innovation and research, helping policymakers and communities understand the connection between hunger and health. Over the years, Catherine has led groundbreaking research on the health-related costs of hunger in Massachusetts, while securing major policy wins for the anti-hunger movement. Catherine has led strategic growth of the Greater Boston Food Bank to new heights over the years, feeding children and families while creating a world-renowned community food bank model. Thank you, Catherine, for your commitment to your people, to the people of Massachusetts. Congratulations.
Catherine is determined in the sense that you can't bring me down. She's compassionate. Catherine's got star power.
She's passionate about serving the community. She's selfless in her impact.
When people say Catherine's a saint, yeah, she is. She's been feeding her neighbors for 30 years.
Hunger has an enormous impact on the communities that we live in and work in, and it's not very visible. The state of hunger in Massachusetts is that 40% of those in our state are food insecure, which means they don't quite know where their next meal is coming from on a consistent basis. And it doesn't distinguish whether you're a child or an elder. It doesn't distinguish whether you live in this town or that town. It's all over Massachusetts.
Catherine has been a steward of the Greater Boston Food Bank. She found something that looked like this, and she left it in so much better shape. She grew it, she upped the standards. We've gone from a very basic operation to a very sophisticated food purchasing and logistics operation to distribute food around 190 towns and cities in Eastern Mass. That's quite something.
It starts with authenticity, and it starts with passion. And it starts with selflessness. She's got all three in droves.
I came from a family of immigrants from Italy that were farmers. When I was 8 years old, my parents opened a restaurant.
People would show up and say, hey, can I wash dishes for food? And her father would never refuse anybody food.
That was a value in our home, that you brought people in and fed them and asked them no questions. And as I moved on to look at issues of justice, I focused very much on the opportunity to make sure that people had access to the food they needed.
My wife Tracy and I got involved in the food bank when we moved here, and I think our goal is to leave wherever we started a little bit better than we found it and provide some hope maybe along the way.
The fact that the Greater Boston Food Bank has grown from giving out 7 million pounds of food to 110 million pounds of food in the arc of my career is a very good feeling. We've been able to increase the volume of food available to folks in their community and to improve the health of that food. More produce, protein, dairy, things that really matter, that cause them to feel better and be able to contribute.
Catherine is one of the most determined people I know. She's going to get it done. Catherine has pushed the boundaries. She adjusts really well to changes in the environment, and she's been able to adapt the food bank to those changes in a really skilled way.
I think about how many people I've been able to work with over the horizon of my career. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people, if not thousands if you count volunteers, have made the Greater Boston Food Bank a better place, and a place better in order to serve people better.
There is no more noble cause than what Catherine D'Amato's been doing for most of her life, feeding her neighbor. And you know what? That makes a great Bostonian.
We live in this area where there's so many high achievers and so many people doing amazing things that make the world a better place, but there's tangible evidence of hers. When you think about 30 years, the amount of people who she's helped in the most important area of need, making sure that people can eat, people are nourished, people have access to food, there's no better honoree than Catherine.
The idea that we're going to end hunger, it's a pretty revolutionary idea. And how do you solve it? You have to have the determination, the perseverance. You have to have the grit. You have to grind. You have to fight. We should fight for people to have a right to eat. And I am committed to continue fighting.
Everyone join me in congratulating, welcoming, and thanking for her tireless work, Catherine D'Amato.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It's great to be in a room of friends and so many people here that support the food bank, that have supported me personally, and I just appreciate your presence and want to thank the Chamber for this meaningful recognition. And Paul, that story about the turtle on a post, I heard that years ago, and I actually thought about using it. So I'm so glad that you did. But I do want to thank the Chamber and to my fellow inductees, Paul and Kevin. I'm proud to be here with you. I also want to thank, there are in the room and current board members, former board members, boards of advisors, both present and past of the food bank. There's the team of leaders that are able to join here tonight, and so many of my other nonprofit agency colleagues that are in the room. I just thank you, and I want to also thank my family, Debbie, Mario, and Angela, for being here. So when I joined the Greater Boston Food Bank in 1995, I never imagined I would spend 3 decades here, working alongside such dedicated folks across this Commonwealth. Many of you are here in the room this evening, and together we have built a very strong, resilient, and empowered food system that serves hundreds of thousands of people each and every month. Like many of you who are leading in ways in your own companies that maybe you did not anticipate, I didn't plan to be a hunger advocate. Secretly, I planned to be a singer. That didn't work out. I was very deeply moved by the justice movement in the 70s. For any of you that have that reflection, some of you in this room may not have even been born, but for many of you that knew what occurred in the 70s in San Francisco, there was just enormous activity occurring around gay rights, civil rights, women's rights, anti-poverty. It was so enormously volatile that was occurring. And I found myself in my work, I literally fell backwards into food banking by starting an emergency food box program that lives today, by starting the San Francisco Food Bank in 1979, by then moving on to Western Massachusetts to run the Food Bank of Western Mass for many years, and then to find myself in Boston. And I've never looked back. With so many lessons over the years, 3 truths remain always to be present. The first is, hunger is always economical, even while working, which is many families that we help to support. They may not be paid enough money or have access to financial literacy. The second is hunger is always political. Politics and policy impact people's lives for the better and for worse, especially those that are hungry. And current changes in federal policies related to food and nutrition at this time are historic. These changes are hurting many people in our communities and causing advocates to persevere through growing demand with diminishing resources. Policy leaders in our Commonwealth are on very high alert and thankfully continue to balance priorities where they can and as they can. And Massachusetts is a leader in this area, and I am grateful to the Commonwealth, its leadership, and to the legislature for making sure that our residents have access to healthy foods. The last of these three is that hunger is always personal. This may be reflected in the zip code you were born into, access to education, chronic health issues, even family obligations. Current changes in Washington and those on the horizon are reshaping food access. More individuals and families will experience hunger for the first time. And no doubt, policy, business, and the nonprofit communities will continue to be challenged with very tough choices. Yet, I believe hunger is a solvable problem. I know collectively we have what it takes to be there for our neighbors. We carry that spirit of the Commonwealth that has been spoken about this evening. We carry that perseverance to build, to rise to the occasion, to innovate, and to plan ahead. Through a very renewed awareness and commitment, and importantly through innovation, we will continue to get nutritious food to those in need. New ideas, new partnerships, new food acquisition, new distribution models will be built on the progress that we have made so far. I am very confident, as business leaders, you will be there to help as you always have. I want to thank you, many of you in this room, for your financial support and for your volunteer time, for giving your teams of people the opportunity to come to the food bank or to many other charities across this Commonwealth. To give their time has been incredibly valuable to all of the charitable nonprofits in the Commonwealth. But for us, you build packages of food and you get it to people who need it. And for that, we are extremely grateful for your financial support and your volunteers. So the next generation of anti-hunger leaders will seek your ideas. They will seek your partnership. They will seek your help to navigate through what is complexity and crisis. And together, we will restore dignity to those in need, those who need our help. Because dignity is what it really comes down to. In the end, dignity is what is at stake. Not whether people have enough food to eat, but whether the systems we grow and create reflect the right foods and the value we place on one another. I'm grateful to the Chamber for this recognition, in essence, for inviting me to come here to put a spotlight on what causes hunger and how I believe we can end it. We are very good at charity, at responding. We need to be great at prevention, at building sustainable models. Thank you. We need to be great at that prevention that builds sustainable models to ensure people know they have the food they need to thrive, to be that next revolution, to be that next Boston, to be that next Massachusetts. So as I said, and I believe strongly, hunger is a solvable problem. The opportunity to be revolutionary, to envision a place without hunger, is before us. So let's gather together, and together, let's end hunger here. Thank you.